This is a Fox News Alert. I'm Brett Baer in Washington. We have three major stories at the top of our program tonight. Dueling speeches by the major party presidential candidates on race and temperament. Hillary Clinton says Donald Trump's slogan should be "Make America Hate Again," while Trump calls Clinton a bigot. We're pressing the White House to explain how President Obama made a $1.3 billion payment to Iran after saying he had to use cash for a $400 million transfer just 2 days earlier. Same time, Iran harasses more U.S. warships. Plus, a new court ruling in the Clinton email case. And we have new information tonight about the extraordinary lengths Hillary Clinton and her team went to make sure no one could find the thousands of emails she deleted after her run at the State Department and after finding out congressional committees wanted access to those emails. Chief Intelligence Correspondent Catherine Herridge is here with our top story. Good evening, Catherine.
Well, Brett, a senior Republican on the House Government Oversight Committee who's read the FBI investigative file says Clinton's team used a technology called BleachBit. It's like an electronic shredder that permanently scrambles the data.
And they didn't just push the delete button. They had them deleted where even God can't read them. They were using something called BleachBit. You don't use BleachBit for yoga emails or for bridesmaids emails. When you're using BleachBit, it is something you really do not want the world to see.
That's a striking claim given last year in Las Vegas at one of her rare news conferences. Clinton seemed to claim ignorance.
Did you try to wipe the whole server? You didn't
I'm not, I have no idea. That's why we turned it over.
You said you were in charge of it. You were the official in charge. Did you wipe the server?
What, like with a cloth or something?
And Congressman Gowdy seemed to cast doubt on FBI Director James Comey's claim that there was no evidence of criminal intent. Based on the FBI investigative file, including notes from Hillary Clinton's July interview, FBI agents never pressed Clinton on why she set up the server.
He said he didn't go forward with charges because she didn't have specific criminal intent. I didn't see any questions on that. She said she did it for convenience, but I didn't see the follow-up questions in the interview I read.
Republicans say the destruction of Clinton records after they got requests from Congress using this technology, BleachBit, shows intent to obstruct Congress and also intent to destroy government records, Brett.
The head of WikiLeaks on Kelly File last night threatening to release more Clinton documents.
Well, that's right. The founder of WikiLeaks confirming to the Kelly File that he has more documents. They are verifying their authenticity and then plan to release the emails before November.
I don't want to give the game away, but it's a variety of different types of documents from different types of institutions that are associated with the election campaign, some quite unexpected angles that are quite interesting, some even entertaining.
The WikiLeaks emails have impact, forcing the resignation of the head of the DNC, Debbie Wasserman Schultz, after it was shown that the DNC gave special treatment to Hillary Clinton in order to block rival Democratic candidate Bernie Sanders. Brett?
Catherine, one more thing I mentioned at the top of the show, the breaking news. The courts have now weighed in on a new batch of emails from the State Department. What did they rule?
Well, that's right. The most significant decision affects the 14,900 emails recovered by the FBI from Clinton's server. The federal judge ruled that the State Department has until September 13th to show which emails are government related. And the chief of investigations at Judicial Watch told Fox News just a short time ago that records about Benghazi were among the deleted files, Brett.
Okay, we'll follow that. Catherine, thank you.
You're welcome.
Hillary Clinton is attacking Donald Trump over something most Americans had never heard of a month ago. As we told you last night, it's called the alternative right, alt-right for short. And today, Clinton painted Trump as the leader of a new vast right-wing conspiracy that she said was the fringe taking over the GOP. Fox News correspondent Jennifer Griffin has that story tonight from Reno, Nevada.
Hillary Clinton is back on the offensive, accusing Donald Trump of, quote, taking a hate movement mainstream during a speech in Reno, Nevada.
This is someone who retweets white supremacists online, like the user who goes by the name White Genocide TM. Trump took this fringe bigot with a few dozen followers and spread his message to 11 million people.
She hit Trump on the support he receives from the so-called alt-right movement led by Trump's new CEO, Steve Bannon, the former editor of Breitbart.
Now, to give you a flavor of his work, here are a few headlines they've published. And I'm not making this up. Birth control makes women unattractive and crazy. Would you rather your child had feminism or cancer? Gabby Giffords, the gun control movement's human shield.
A new Clinton web video released today illustrates the KKK's support for Trump.
The reason a lot of Klan members like Donald Trump is because a lot of what he believes, we believe in.
About a dozen anti-Clinton protesters stood outside her event here in Reno and protested what critics call pay-to-play arrangements between Clinton's State Department and her family foundation. Clinton called into a cable news show last night to rebut stories that she gave access to foundation donors.
I know there's a lot of smoke and there's no fire. This AP report, put it in context. It excludes nearly 2,000 meetings I had with world leaders, plus countless other meetings with U.S. government officials when I was Secretary of State.
Clinton would not take questions shouted to her on the rope line about the foundation and her relationship to it. She did, however, push back on the conspiracy theories about her health, laughing, in fact, at National Enquirer stories that Donald Trump likes to quote about her health. A new Quinnipiac poll shows her with more than 50% of likely voters nationwide, and that she is leading 10 points, Donald Trump, in that new poll. Brett?
Jennifer Griffin traveling with the Clinton campaign. Jennifer, thank you. Well, what do you think of the alt-right movement? How do you view that movement? Let me know at Twitter, on Twitter at Bret Baier. Use the hashtag Special Report, or at Facebook.com/BretBaierSR. Last night, Donald Trump called Clinton a bigot. Today, he continued to try to turn the race issue to his advantage. Senior national correspondent John Roberts is with the Trump campaign tonight following a rally this afternoon in Manchester, New Hampshire.
Thank you. It was a preemptive strike against what could be a damaging attack from Hillary Clinton. Donald Trump warning his supporters in New Hampshire she was about to call them racists.
To Hillary Clinton and her donors and advisors, pushing her to spread smears and her lies about decent people, I have 3 words. I want you to remember these 3 words. Shame on you.
The Clinton campaign is battling back against Trump's new outreach to minority voters.
Donald Trump would be best for the job.
In a new video attempting to link Trump to the KKK and so-called alt-right movement, Trump insists such attacks are the last refuge of a discredited politician.
This is just the beginning of the dirty things that they will do. And people simply have to understand that that's what you're seeing, desperation.
As much as Trump is trying to keep the focus on Hillary Clinton this week, his original theme, immigration, keeps creeping back into the headlines.
To take a person that's been here for 15 or 20 years and throw them and the family out, it's so tough, Mr. Trump. I mean, I have it all the time. It's a very, very hard thing.
Trump's self-described softening on what to do about the millions of people who have entered the country illegally stands in sharp contrast to what he said about his opponents in the primary campaign.
The weakest person on the stage by far on illegal immigration is Jeb Bush. He is so weak on illegal immigration, it's laughable, and everybody knows it.
The pivot on immigration provoked howls from some of those opponents. An ally of Ted Cruz told Fox News today Trump's shifting on this issue is no different than if Ted Cruz were to come out in support of Obamacare. It's a complete reversal on the promise he made to the primary voters who elected him. And this from Jeb Bush.
All the things that Donald Trump railed against, he seems to be morphing into. It's kind of disturbing.
Even Trump's most staunch supporters seem alarmed by the change, and it has failed to silence his detractors. A group of undocumented immigrants protested at Trump Tower today. A shouting match erupted as Trump supporter Pastor Mark Burns arrived for a roundtable on minority outreach.
Can you tell me why you support racists? Do you support me and my people being deported from this country?
I would support
you want my mother and my little sister to be separated?
Just because you are loud,
so do you want my mother?
Just because you are talking louder than me don't make you right.
The Clinton campaign is clearly alarmed by Donald Trump's new outreach to minority voters. Since he undertook that pivot, his poll numbers in places like battleground North Carolina have now moved from outside to well within the margin of error. And Trump will very soon embark on a tour of inner cities in places like Detroit and Cleveland to talk about things that are very important to African-American families, including charter schools and economic empowerment zones. Brett?
John Roberts with the Trump campaign in Manchester, New Hampshire. John, thank you. And just to go to show you the end of the road is coming soon. Members of the Trump and Clinton teams met today with White House officials as part of the transition process. Among the topics, the administration's transition activities to date, including an overview of agency planning efforts, GSA-led transition team support, emergency preparedness, personnel onboarding processes. Yes, it keeps going. Upcoming milestones for the teams that will take over the White House. New charges of hypocrisy are swirling around the Clinton campaign tonight. They have to do with Hillary Clinton's condemnation of for-profit universities in general and Trump University in particular. Chief Washington correspondent James Rosen tells us tonight the Clinton Foundation and the Clinton family directly have made a lot of money from for-profit education.
Hillary Clinton's official schedule for August 17, 2009 lists a small private dinner at the State Department closed to the press for experts in higher education. 2 weeks earlier, according to an email first disclosed by the website Inside Higher Ed, Mrs. Clinton emailed Chief of Staff Cheryl Mills ordering her to invite someone from the institution that the secretary called the fastest growing college network in the world, Laureate University, started by Doug Becker, who Bill Clinton likes a lot. It's a for-profit model that should be represented. Laureate has also donated between $1 and $5 million to the Clinton Foundation. The schedule shows Mills complied and that the dinner was attended by Laureate's senior vice president, Joseph Duffy, who had once awarded President Clinton an honorary doctorate. 8 months after Mrs. Clinton's private dinner, Laureate, which operates 84 schools in 30 countries, hired former President Clinton as honorary chancellor, a job that saw him traveling to locales like Madrid and touting the company alongside VIPs like Prince Philippe of Spain. The job paid Mr. Clinton $17.6 million over 5 years, and he stepped down from it.
I'm running for president.
12 days before his wife launched her campaign for the White House.
It clearly shows that she intervened on behalf of a for-profit organization, and within months, her family personally benefited to the tune of, well, over $17 million. That's a lot of money. They got wealthy off of what appears to be her intervention in including this organization in a very exclusive club.
In a statement, Laureate said the former president visited 19 Laureate campuses in 14 countries across a 5-year term that expired when it did by previous arrangement. The State Department said it couldn't say what was going through Mrs. Clinton's mind when she made a point of including Laureate at the 2009 dinner.
The State Department regularly engages with a range of academics, NGOs, think tanks, business leaders, speakers, commentators on a range of issues.
A spokesman for the Clinton campaign told me any linkage of Laureate's hiring of the former president and Secretary Clinton's private dinner is, quote, absurd. The campaign adds the fact that Mrs. Clinton has taken a tough stand on some for-profit colleges acting in a predatory way, saddling students with debt, shows, Brett, that she did not allow her husband's contract with Laureate to influence her policy decisions.
Okay, James, thank you. While former President Bill Clinton says his family's foundation will no longer accept corporate and foreign donations if his wife becomes president, there is already a possible exception. The Clinton Health Access Initiative has not yet decided whether it will cut off that major source of its funding. Also tonight, Chelsea Clinton does not plan to follow in her father's footsteps and resign from the foundation board if her mother wins in November.